We rolling? All right. So this is a 1951 D2 dozer. And with this dozer, it does not have a actual starter. So you don't put a key in it and start it. It has a pony motor. This is the pony motor. This is the big motor. So you got to fire off the pony motor in order to fire off the big motor. And then once you got the big motor going, you have to shut off the pony motor. And most people say you can just close the fuel off on it and let the pony motor run out of fuel and kill itself. But this one, I've been told you have to shut it off right away, otherwise you'll blow the pony motor if you don't turn it off right away. So the first thing we do when we start this up, it's kind of like a pre-flight inspection. Make sure that this is in neutral. This is your transmission. This is a Harley-Davidson foot peg, which was fabricated on here, which is really neat. This golf ball is what raises and lowers the blade. But what you got to do first is you got to check all your... I check three areas. Actually, I check two, and then I check one while it's running. So the first one I check is right here. This is the dipstick right in the bottom. I pull that up to see if it's got any oil. It's got oil. And it says it's not quite full, but it's full enough for what we're doing today. That's pretty much your transmission gearbox. And if I'm wrong on anything and somebody points it out, it's okay. So the next thing I do is I check the pony motor oil. That's the dipstick for the pony motor oil, and it's well over full. And sometime this summer, I'm going to change all the fluids in this. Next thing I do, this is the dipstick for the main motor right here, but it says check while it's running. So I leave that in, and once I got it running, I check it. And I also check when it's running for while the pony motor's running and the big motor's turning over, which you will see here shortly. Here's a pressure gauge right there. And usually it runs between 30 and 40 psi. It bounces. And the temperature gauge is for the big motor. Okay. So what I do, this is a petcock for the fuel line to the pony motor. And it's a little tough. Open it up. That allows fuel into the carburetor on the pony motor. And I give it a couple, 3 or 4 twists. Okay. Then we come over here. And for this, you guys are not going to be able to hear me because this pony motor is loud. This is the exhaust pipe to the pony motor. This is the exhaust pipe to the big motor. It has a muffler right here. This has no muffler, so this is loud. I wear earplugs or earmuffs when I fire this off. So before I start firing it off, this is the choke and throttle to the pony motor. These are already set, so I'm not going to play with them. This particular model has an electric start, So you can click it on. This is this is what starts the pony motor. These two levers here is what engages the pony motor into the big motor. Now before you do that, what you want to do, this is called a decompression lever. It takes the compression off the big motor, so you pull that out. Now that that is pulled out, you can start the pony motor. And before I start the pony motor, I want to tell you, because it's loud, this is a hand throttle on the side for the big motor. So once you got this pulled out and you got the pony motor going, you check all your gauges, then you come back around, and while it's going, everything looks good. You give this a little throttle like that, and you kick the compression valve off, and once that flap up there on the exhaust valve on the muffler starts going and the engine's running, you flip this switch back to off. Some people say you need to turn off the gas on the other side and let it run out on its own, but I've been told different on this particular tractor. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fire it off. I got my earmuffs. Make sure there's no bugs in them. Oh, and the other thing, it's 40 degrees right now. This tractor probably, I have it plugged in, electric heater, block heater. I plug it in until it's about 60 degrees. Anything under that, this thing won't fire up. On this model. Somebody else's, it might. But on this one, it doesn't. So below 60, I always plug it in. It's a cold-blooded bitch. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. Okay, so we unplug this, the block heater. So I unplug the block heater. I also check the hose. This is the hose, hose to the radiator. It's nice and warm. Almost too warm to touch, but pretty warm. You also want to watch this gauge right here. And it's kind of foggy, but it says out, caution, and normal. And when it's running, it'll bounce between normal and caution, but it's supposed to be right about normal. Okay, we're ready to fire this off. Turn our switch on. up, and then I'll take it for a spin, and I'll show you how it goes around. But one thing we gotta check the main motor. There's enough oil in the crankcase. Don't get your hand stuck in there. Check this engine running. Okay, so this is a brake pedal, and this is a brake. You push this one, basically you slam this one and this one to turn to the right when you're going forward. If you're in reverse, you slam this one and slam this one to make the front end go to the left. The same with this lever and the brake pedal, just like this on the other side. This is your throttle. You can turn it down and pull it up. That's your throttle. This lever here is for your lights. You turn it that way. It turns on your front lights, and this has a rear light so you can see what you're doing if you're working in the dark. We don't need it because we're working in the light. We're going to come around to the other side. It's your transmission here. There's 1, 2, it's a 5-speed. This is reverse here. So usually I go from 1 to reverse. I don't really go into anything else because I don't need it. This is your clutch, and it's backwards to a car. Usually you push in the clutch to shift gears. This one, you pull back to shift. So when you pull back, you go forward or reverse, whichever gear you're in. That kicks you out of gear. So we're gonna go move some snow. pull it down that way, and then that's it.